Well, hi there, my friends. How are you doing? Yes, yet another pandemic night of blues and lockdown. And I was thinking, what could I do tonight? And I didn't really feel like singing, or at least for the time being. But I did think about one thing that I really wanted to explain, because among other things, it gives me such a headache as a Spaniard living in the United States. And I'm going to explain it to you right now. It's the naming convention that we use in Spain, and I believe in all Spanish-speaking countries in America, all right? Now, I know the world is huge and there are many languages and customs and stuff, but you have to admit that Spanish is the second most spoken language in the United States. And I don't happen to come from America, I come from Spain, but it's the same. we have a different name convention, and I'm going to explain to you because it's curious, it's interesting. I think it's like it's more modern that the one that the English speaking countries have, and it's more gender it has more gender awareness. So I will start right now. So in Spain, just like in the States, but it's less common, people normally have two names, but you don't have to. I only have one. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to tell you my real name, and that's it. I'm not going to tell you my family names, my awards, because there's a lot of crazy people that are there, right? So my real name is Jesus, as in Jesus. Please don't make the joke, all right? Because you might think you're being original, but you're not. I mean, I hear that. Actually, I don't hear that much in the States, because they used to listen to my name, but in Europe it's like, oh crap, it's crazy. And I'm like, do you think you're being funny? Well, anyway, yes, my first name and only is Jesus. Other people have two names. Actually, you might find it funny, but normally they combine certain names together, and the one that goes, and I know it's crazy, right, that normally goes with Jesus, and in Spain, for instance, Jesus Maria, which Mary is Maria, right? It's a woman's name alone, but if it goes behind Jesus, it's Jesus Maria. That would be first and second name, right? But I only have one because I'm very poor and I'm very simple and humble. All right. And then now here we have the big difference. So we have two family names, and this is how it works, or how it used to work. My first family name is the first family name of my father, and my second family name is the first family name of my mother. So everyone in Spain has those two words at least. Now, yes, I know. The first one, like I said, is the first of the father, and the second is the first of the mother. That was until some years ago, until I don't know, they decided that you could change the order if you wanted to. If you think that, for instance, one family name is more notorious, or less common, or more special, or for whatever reason you like it more, you can change it, and like invert the order. But in any case, yes. So now the problem comes when I moved to the States, because here they have one name, then they have another name, a middle name they call it, and then they only have one family name. So I repeat it, a million times. I have one name and two family names. That happens to everyone in Spain. At least everyone must have two family names, and you should write both of them. But if you have to omit one, it must always be the second one, never the first one, all right? So here what they do is they take and thank God I only have one name, my name, and then they take my second family name, and my first family name, they do whatever they want with it. They think it's my middle name, and yeah, you might think it's funny, but it's not, because for instance, In my passport, I've written my name properly, and for instance, I once lost a flight because they wrote it in the wrong way. And when I go, and if I had gone to customs there at the airport, they could have told me, you know, your name doesn't match to your legal documents. Another example, I have to fight a million times with my bank, and they always make the same mistake. They issue credit cards with the wrong order, the wrong the names, and it drives me just nuts. And by the way, I forgot to say one last thing. There are even people in Spain, normally that those family names are more like theoretically from, you know, noble people from a higher class. They have even that one family name, whether it's the first one or the second one, is double, it's combined. So for example, I will give you one example. A person can be called Juan, that's the J, the Spanish J, the most difficult phoneme to pronounce in Spanish. J, Juan, okay? In South America, they say a little bit softer, they say Juan, we say Juan, all right? But he can have a second name, Juan Fernando, you know, like Lady Gaga, Fernando. Okay, Juan Fernando, that would be his first name, middle name, Fernando, and then Blasco, that would be his first family name, and then he can have a second family name, Gomez. You know, there are many Spanish names, and with a Z or a Z, as you say as they say in the United States. So he could be called Juan Blasco Gomez, okay, only, or if he has two first names, Juan Fernando Blasco Gomez, or he could have a double second family name. So he could be called Juan Fernando Blasco Gomez Pallín, with a hyphen or a middle dash, you know, in the middle, for instance. So there you go. So it's, I mean, it's more difficult. There are many, of course, like in the States, many family names that are like very, very popular, and many people have them, but it's much more difficult to like that your name and family names coincide with those of other people than in the States, for example, right? That's why here they use so much the date of birth, where in Spain they never ask for that, never. Also because we all have one card which is called the identity card number, right? And we are obliged to have it. Every Spaniard has that card, and you have your special number, which is your number for your whole life, right? You can even have a new number, like in my case, or if someone dies, they recycle the number. So if you have a very little number, right, it's probably from a dead person. Anyway, yeah, it's just another interesting fact. Because for instance, I don't know, like in Britain they don't have that. Like in the States, they don't have any legal ID. So what they use is the driver's license. It's like the most powerful thing. And what happens if you don't have a driver's license? Well, in the States, I have invented the non-driver's license. That makes so much sense, doesn't it? Well, anyway, my friends, yes, that's the internal ID for Spain, but we can use it to travel within the Schengen territory, within the European Union, without, in theory, we don't need the passport. Of course, the passport is an international legal document. Like, I don't even know why when they caught me here in the States, when I go to a disco, yeah, believe it or not, they still caught me, and I show my Spanish ID, which has no legal value. It's like, you know, piece of paper, right? I should show my passport. And I'm going to tell you now one thing that's very funny. So when I first came to New York, the first like American documents I got, besides well, I have a visa, of course, working visa, but I got the like the New York card, which is from the library. So I went so happy, you know, for the first time, I know, on a Saturday night and I left my Spanish ID card, which by the way, it's a photocopy, it's not even real. And they would always let me in, right? And I go, and I'm so happy with my new American ID, and you know what they tell me? We don't accept it. And I said, why? Because the ID has to be from a state level, and this is only from the city. And I say, what are you telling me? You're accepting a photocopy of an ID of another country which has no legal value whatsoever in this country, and you don't accept the library card from your city, right? It's so funny, but yes. So there you go. So I mean, we've, unlike in English-speaking countries, and I guess in other countries, we always took into account also the family name of the mother. Although, yes, it was in second place, but like I said many years ago already, you can invert the order if you like it better. But normally people don't do it, you know, because we just, you know, you're born like you're born and whatever, you know. You can even change your name if you want to when you're an adult. But I never did it. My name is Jesus. What can I do? I'm a saint, and why should I change it? When I was a kid, I really hated it, and I wanted to be called John, you know. So yeah, that's it. I think it's just interesting, you know, because I really have such a headache. You can't even imagine. I mean, and for many things, because then they register me, and then I try to enter the website, and I can't, and depending on which company, like I had to ask for a refund of a flight recently, and the visa side wouldn't accept it because they had put instead of putting my two family names with a space, they put them with a middle dash. Other times they forget my first name, other times they forget my second name, other times they just use the first letter of my first family name, which is what they do in the States, right? In the States they use the first name, the initial of the second name, and then the only family name. So there you go. I hope you find this interesting. If you like to learn about other cultures, and very especially about the Spanish naming convention, which, like I said, I am from Spain, but I think it's applicable to all Spanish-speaking countries, which means all of the countries, all those countries that are of America, in which they speak Spanish, and even in Africa, because there's one country in Africa in which they speak Spanish too. All colonies, or even, I don't know, in the Philippines, previously, when it was it's an old Spanish colony. There's many people who have Spanish names, and I don't know, or maybe you guys can tell me. But yeah, there you go. That's I just thought it was something interesting, and maybe I can use this video, you know, because trust me, I've explained it like 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times, 1,000,000,000,000 times, and yet they always make the same mistake, and it's no fun, because like I said, I lost a plane, I lost a flight, I had my cards changed. Yes, because for example, they didn't do it here, but in Spain they can request you when you go and pay something with a credit card to show your ID, and if the names don't match, they will say, I'm sorry, and supposedly they should request it to you, but normally they never do. But you know, they would say, oh no, you know, you can't pay with this card because the names are not the same, you know. So there you go. I hope you like this video. You can comment below whatever you deem fit, and let's see what comes to my mind for the next video. Thanks so much for watching.